Once upon a time, in a mystical realm where the very essence of existence was woven on looms of light, there lived a young weaver named Elara. Her task, like that of all the weavers in the great loom hall, was to create tapestries that wove the destinies of men. Around her, the other weavers moved with an ethereal grace, their threads flowing through their fingers like liquid starlight. Their tapestries shimmered with perfect patterns, each stitch an offering to the gods of fate. But Elara's hands trembled. Her threads were tangled and knotted, and every shuttle she threw broke upon the beam. No matter how hard she tried, her tapestries were marred with flaws, her knots uneven, her colors clashing. In the rigid world of the loom hall, where precision and perfection were revered above all else, Elara's flawed work made her an outcast. One day, unable to bear the scornful whispers and disapproving stares any longer, Elara fled into the forest. She wandered for days, her heart heavy with despair, until she came across a small clearing bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the center sat an ancient weeping willow, its branches cascading down like 1,000 tears. And beneath the tree, beside a babbling stream, sat an old woman with hands like gnarled roots. Without speaking, the woman reached out, her gaze gentle, and took one of Elara's broken threads. With a few deft movements, she wove a simple yet unbreakable knot. Then she handed it back to Elara. "When your threads break," she said, her voice as soft as rustling leaves, "do not despair. For even in the breaking, there is beauty. It is in the mending that true strength lies." With these words, Elara felt a surge of determination. Though her loom was in ruins and her threads were flawed, she could still weave. So she returned home, carrying with her the old woman's wisdom and a small bag of spare threads. Back in the loom hall, the other weavers gasped and recoiled as Elara set up her loom. Some whispered for her to be banished, others for her to be given a chance. Master Oren, the stern leader of the weavers, approached her loom with a scowl. Ignoring their murmurs, Elara began to weave. She wove the gnarled branches of the weeping willow and the tangled undergrowth of the forest floor. She wove the soft glow of moonlight filtering through the leaves and the gurgling of the stream over smooth stones. She wove the darkness of the forest, the shadows deepening to a velvety black, the light fading to the faintest glimmer. As she wove, the tapestry took on a life of its own. Flawed threads became silver streaks in the night sky. Broken threads turned into shooting stars, and the more she wove, the more the tapestry glowed. Suddenly, the air grew thick, the shadows deepened, and a hush fell over the weavers. Master Oren stepped closer, his face ashen. "What sorcery is this?" he whispered, more to himself than to Elara. "Why does your flawed work stir such power?" Elara's hands trembled, not with fear, but with the effort of controlling the wild magic surging within the tapestry. "My threads may be flawed," she said, her voice shaking, "but they are mine. This forest, with its tangled paths and shadowed glades, is my home. The moon's pale light and the whispering wind, they are my companions. And the strength I find in the breaking of my threads, the resilience that comes from mending them, that is my song." As she spoke, the tapestry flared, and the scene of the dark forest sprang to life. The gnarled branches reaching out, the undergrowth rustling, the moonlight shimmering on a hidden path of sparkling light. The other weavers gasped. One by one, they looked away, unable to bear the sight of Elara's masterpiece. Only Master Oren remained transfixed, his face pale with awe. Slowly, as if sensing his gaze, the path of light turned towards him. The forest, the moon, the stars, they all seemed to be watching, waiting. Finally, he bowed his head, humbled and ashamed. Elara smiled, her eyes shining with newfound purpose. She picked up her shuttle, ready to weave her unique and powerful story onto the loom of fate. From that day on, the other weavers, though initially skeptical, were drawn to Elara's work. They had toiled for perfection, but their tapestries lacked the life and magic that sprang from Elara's flaws. And so the weavers began to gather around Elara's loom, eager to learn from her and help mend her broken threads. Together, they wove not just tapestries, but a community, bound by the strength that came from embracing their imperfections and the beauty that bloomed from their shared humanity. The moral of the story is, when life's threads seem tangled and broken, don't despair. Embrace your unique challenges and struggles, for they are the threads that make up the fabric of your life. Be bold enough to weave a tapestry that reflects your authentic self, even if it doesn't seem perfect. In doing so, you'll discover a strength and beauty that comes from embracing what makes you different. Just like Elara, your flawed threads can become your most beautiful masterpiece.